that already there have been reports coming through that Scotland is starting to feel very negative economic effects brought about by this Brexit crisis that the UK is currently going through. One of the statistics, it says that 13 Scots a day are being declared bankrupt since 2016, and that number has been rising sharply over the past 2 years. And of course they've linked that to the uncertainty in the economy surrounding Brexit. So a lot of negative statistics coming out of Scotland at the moment.
All right, thank you for that. Let's go to Bristol now. Tony, Sturgeon saying that Britain's system of governance does not serve her country's interests. What is she alluding to?
Well, it doesn't matter how much the Scottish independence campaign spends on Facebook, on organising rallies. The fact of the matter is the Scottish people don't support it. We saw, as you said right at the start in 2014, 10% wanted to stay with Westminster, didn't want to split off, and in fact, just after the referendum on Brexit, there was a poll done by YouGov in July 2016, which showed that if Britain did leave the EU, there would be a roughly 46%, and there was 1,000 people surveyed in Scotland, of the Scots would want to stay with Westminster, and only 37% wanted to stay with Brussels in the case of Brexit, if Brexit happened. So, you know, it doesn't matter how poor old Nicola Sturgeon spins these figures, how many speeches she does on the BBC, or how many times she says these things to various people at rallies. The fact of the matter is the Scots don't want Brussels. There is, yes, I know that the majority were against Brexit, wanted to remain in the EU, but the whole ball game changes if you look at a post-Brexit Britain. I mean, the Scots are a very sensible lot. They don't like Brussels or Westminster, but actually they would prefer Westminster. I think that's what that poll quite clearly shows.
So Tony, which scenario suits them better?
Sorry?
Which scenario suits them better? Staying with Westminster or just acting as an independent country?
Well, I mean, according to the poll, it would suit them to stay with Westminster. And according to the referendum they held in 2014, the same. So we've seen those results in 2014 and 2016. Has anything really changed? No, it hasn't. Well, look, the thing is, there's been a big change in the SNP, in the leadership, and with saying goodbye to Alex Salmond, who's now been demonised, and there's various court cases, people trying to demonise Alec. Nicola Sturgeon is a very new type of leader, and somebody I don't think that the Scots warm to actually at all. So she's been foisted on the Scottish people rather than somebody. She's really, I suppose, a kind of new wave puppet politician, very closely connected with the European Council on Foreign Relations. And this is a US lobby group. And of course, we know, don't we, that one would expect that the US lobby group, the Council on Foreign Relations, would be very friendly with those that are promoting a United States of Europe. This is what Juncker has said he's going to do, a United States of Europe. And also he called the Brexit voters stupid, Juncker. So this is where we are, I'm afraid. It's the lobby groups that are behind people like Nicola Sturgeon. She is totally out of step with the Scottish people now, as we've got in so many places around the West. Macron and May and more of them. We've got politicians who are saying something completely different to what the people want to hear. The European Council on Foreign Relations, which she is so close to, was actually originally partly set up with the money from the will of Cecil Rhodes. He had a dream of world domination, as does the Council on Foreign Relations and the Royal Institute for International Affairs in London, if you can believe that. This is a hangover from the days of the early 1900s of British Empire. The British thought they could dominate the world. And I'm afraid there is still that idea around, and a lot of money behind it. And Nicola Sturgeon adheres to that. She's a globalist. She's not really for Scotland at all.
Okay, here's your comments. We had Robert Carter, our correspondent, join us from London. Also, Tony Gosling, investigative journalist from Bristol. With this, we come to the end of this news review. Do stay with us. The Light is next.